not too sure why, but for the past week or so, it's just remained foggy all day, but it's actually sunny, so the weather forecast will say sunny, but then it'll be foggy for an entire day, which kind of sucks. Normally we get fog in September, October, just from that transition of super warm weather into that cold fall weather. I don't know if fog has anything to do with that or if it's related to that. Anyway, this isn't a weather forecast. Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. For any of you guys that are new here, my name is Levi. So it's been a little while since I've taken you guys through my day. I mean, I take you guys through my day in pretty much every video and a vlog, but it's been a while since I've talked about a subject throughout the entire course of a video. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about partying, going out, and just kind of more so finding yourself in self-improvement. And I did it through health and fitness. And I kind of did a video similar to this in the past, and it was just why I stopped partying, but I didn't explain necessarily the self-improvement part, how I got better and how I found fitness in the gym as my coping mechanism to get away from something like that and find more about myself. That's what we're going to be covering in today's video. As you can see, I'm a little closer to the camera. It's only my second day back from having COVID in the gym, so I don't know. My first workout went great and it was legs and they're still hurting, so we'll see how this workout goes today. I'm hoping I feel like just as good as I do right now. I said in the beginning of this video, I used to kind of be in that party scene where I'd go out pretty much almost every weekend that I had off from work back when I was working at my dad's store, and I would go out and party with my friends. We'd smoke, drink, just stay up super late. It wasn't like who I was at all, because in high school I was never the guy that really went to parties too often. It wasn't until like the end of my senior year until I started getting into that stuff. And I think honestly it was the people I was hanging around too. And there's this saying, you know, if you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll become the 6 millionaire, and that kind of, you know, goes with party people. So if your friend group has, let's just say, 5 party goers and you hang around them, you'll be the 6th party goer. Does that make sense? So you kind of become who you hang around. I realized that's not who I was, and so I started going to the gym more often because I was always interested in the gym throughout high school, and I started investing myself there, and that's kind of how I got away from the party scene. So it was kind of something that was bettering myself, and I kind of got obsessed with it. That's also something that I've noticed with people who are obese and then they finally get into shape. All of a sudden they become obsessed with the gym because they never want to go back, and that's kind of how it was for me. I became obsessed with the gym because I never wanted to go back to that lifestyle, because I knew in the gym I had to go to bed early, I had to eat right, I couldn't drink and do all that crap all the time, and I knew I had to be here and show up. So yeah, it was a hard change, but change is really hard, especially if you're trying to reach that next potential mark for you. Finished up the workout. Just got done talking to Kenny on the phone too. I was here a little longer than anticipated. It's just hard if I'm on the phone and then like I try to leave something, or like I'm trying to finish a video. No problem though. I really enjoyed talking to Kenny. Really good friend. He'll be my friend forever, I think. If you guys don't know who Kenny is, go subscribe to his channel. I'll link it right here above for you guys to go check out. I'm a little hungry. I haven't eaten for almost 5 hours, so let's get home, let's get a meal in, and let's get on with the rest of the day. Alright, and so I am back on my cold showers. I don't know if you guys saw, but when I stepped in, I was kind of just like, back in the summer, I was taking cold showers and just kind of recording my experimental process with it. And it was something that I found was really good to not only wake me up, I felt like it just, my body afterward felt amazing for whatever reason. So I just started doing it again. I'll share it with you guys because it's another form of like self-improvement in my eyes, at least, just because we mentioned kind of how, you know, the gym was like my coping mechanism for self-improvement, getting away from like partying, drinking, and doing all of that. but as soon as you find one thing, you start to find more things. So as I was kind of mentioning, I used the gym as a coping mechanism for, I would say, my first step in self-improvement and getting that dream physique that I've always wanted, and it kind of got me out of that party scene as well. You realize after you've been, I would say, kind of not necessarily wasting time, but pretty much wasting time, that there was a whole bunch of things that you needed to improve upon yourself that you haven't yet addressed, and that change can be really hard. So I would say back then, like, that gym was my sort of thing, and now I'm kind of more so dealing with organization. I don't know if you guys ever saw, but my room was a mess in my previous videos. My bed was always unmade. It just literally looked horrific. It looked like trash all the time. And I would say, like, my laptop was unorganized, but now I kind of have set periods and days and stuff that I like to get things done. And organization is still something that I'm still trying to figure out because it helps me with structure, and it's something that I would say COVID kind of took away from me, but I'm getting a grip on. Before I get too off track and just talk about self-improvement all around, which is a huge, I would say, portion of this video, I want to talk specifically more of how fitness changed the trajectory of my life and how it really made that impact. One of the things that it did is it helped me also meal prep, which I'm out of and I have to go get. And what you put in your body will also make you feel a certain way. It'll make you feel better about yourself. It'll make you feel better up here and have mental clarity, because if you're going out and partying and drinking, you're consuming alcohol, which is okay from time to time, and then you're also consuming bad food because you're drunk and you're like, I don't care what I put in my body, give me those fries, give me that burger, whatever it is. We've all been there. If you're 21, you better be 21. I'm watching you. Before we end this video, I kind of wanted to just give you guys a testimony on how I was able to do this, like get away from partying and use the gym as a factor in doing so. Because sometimes I feel like people will explain to an audience on how they were able to come out of a dark place in their life, and the gym was their escape or whatever it might be that was their escape, but they don't really give an insight or a story on how they were able to do that. I feel like a storyboard kind of shows that you can be in a tough place, and it kind of gives the other person hope and it inspires them. I know for me, that's how I work, at least. Like, I'll hear someone explain something that's really personable, and then they'll explain how they overcame it, and it gives me inspiration and hope as well. So that's what I'm kind of looking to do at the end of this video. So I'm going to give you guys the little nitty-gritty story on exactly what happened and how I was able to use this thing called working out in the gym as a turning point or a factor for me. Now, before I get started on my story, I also just want to mention that before I even got into this partying scene, or while I was even in this partying scene, I was also working out still, but I wasn't really that serious about it. I would take 5 days off here, 6 days off here, question even why I was working out. So I wasn't really even into it. I just kind of did it in high school because of sports, and also because, if you guys know this, my dad kind of made me back when I was in 7th grade. Didn't want me, just sitting around. Was like, you're gonna lift weights. So I really had no passion for it at all yet. Obviously, if I'm skipping, weeks at a time and whatnot. So yeah, but I just wanted to say that because some of you guys might think, well, this transition seemed really easy for you, and it probably was a little easier just because I had some background knowledge, but it doesn't mean that it can't be easy for you too. Also, before I even got into this kind of scene of partying and whatnot, which only lasted about a year and a half, I wasn't even that guy in high school who even looked forward to partying and whatnot. There was just like maybe a few times I had a drink with like my friends in high school, but it was never like a party or anything. I was never a big party animal. I wouldn't say I even got into partying until, I would say, the end of my senior year. I kind of just tampered with it for a little bit because in high school my friends would always invite me to go to parties, but I was always that guy. I was like, nah, like I can't go. I'd always come up with some lousy excuse not to go. Then I tampered with it a little bit and I had fun a few times. I was like, man, we should do this more often. And then all of a sudden it became so often that it was like every single weekend that we could all get together. And before you know it, pretty much every weekend we could all get together because we could request days off work. We could literally just make the time somehow to do it. So before you know it, at the end of my senior year, I'm basically partying every single weekend, just going out with my friends, getting a group of us together and going out. Now, this went on for quite a while, and I would say it went on all the way until 2019 was a time period where all of a sudden after that, I kind of started to realize, and by the way, I graduated in 2018. I started to realize that I was more alone than I actually thought, because I'd be with my friends on the weekends, and during the week, all I would look forward to was the weekend because that was the only thing exciting going on in my life. All of a sudden, my brain just started thinking about other things, and before I knew it, I stopped partying as much on the weekends. And so I guess it's my suggestion to you guys, because I didn't do this intentionally, it just kind of sort of happened for me. Slowly come off of partying on the weekends because you've made it a habit in your life at this point, and you can't just go cold turkey on habits sometimes. I know you can, but if you don't think you have the strength to, I strongly suggest just slowly coming off of it. So yeah, that's essentially what happened to me. I started slowly coming off of it, wasn't really messing with it too much, kind of taking it off, and then all of a sudden, summer comes around. My friends and I are getting back together and stuff. I don't know why. I think it was just the warm weather brought us together again, and we were all just hanging out a lot more. And then I think one of the last times was on July 4th, and there was a lot going on that 4th because like my ex hit me up, and I was super drunk, and I woke up literally the next day like, what the hell happened? Like, what even was that? And all of a sudden, it just wasn't fun. Like, I woke up and I was like, that wasn't fun. It was the 4th of July, so, and I am someone who believes in, moderation, so every once in a while. But I think it was just because it had been something that we had been doing, like partying and drinking and all of that. And I didn't really see it as a special occasion. I just saw it as another time for us to have fun. So yeah, I woke up that next day, was just not with it. And all of a sudden, I found myself more so alone again. And during that time period, I was like, I really don't like the way my body looked, probably from the alcohol that I had been consuming every so often on the weekends. So I was like, I'm gonna try to get a little more in shape. And I started getting a lot more in shape, and I started getting stronger. And all of a sudden, when you start to see improvement, just because our brains are wired that way, once we start seeing like improvements on something that we're working toward, we get a little more, I would say, just like geared up toward it. We're like, oh, like, wow, what if I keep working even harder? What's gonna happen next? So that's kind of what started happening to me. And then all of a sudden, before you knew it, the people that I was, partying with kind of slowly tapered off of my life. And that's another huge thing I want to say. So I would say the first thing you need to do is, like I already mentioned, slowly come off of that lifestyle. And then once you slowly come off of that lifestyle, it becomes easier because you don't see those friends as much to, I would say kind of remove those friends out of your life. Maybe you keep them close still, like you still contact with them, maybe hang out one-on-one with them, but you just stop interacting with them in a way that's gonna make you feel obligated to go and party on the weekends still, or party even on the weekdays. Yeah, that sort of happened to me, and then I found myself really alone, and then James was just not really about that lifestyle either, so him and I became friends, and then I really wasn't alone anymore. And then that's when I got into social media with fitness and stuff. I was like, man, like I actually love this stuff. This is super fun. So that's kind of how I got off of it. And I do believe in everything in moderation, so this video isn't to say like don't ever party again, because I went all the way from that July all the way until the next January to party again. So that's almost 6 months, a whole 6 months until I did it again. So like I said, I believe in everything in moderation. Maybe not 6 months, but maybe just a little more spread out. And for me, that was okay. Even after January, I was like, okay, like that was a little bit of fun, but I remember from my past, how to more so balance things now. And ever since then, I had kind of been off it. I would say like this last summer or so, I had been drinking a little more than I had wanted to. I just turned 21 though, so I'll give myself a little bit of a break there, but still. So essentially break this down, you gotta take action. And what I mean by taking action is you gotta take that first step that I mentioned, slowly taper off of it, and then remove those friends, because there's that saying, you become like the 5 most people that you hang around. And if, there's 5 partiers that you're hanging out with, you're gonna become the 6th partier. So if you don't want to, party anymore, strongly suggest that. And then, like I said, invest your time into somewhere else. So for me, it was the gym. Kind of do that third last one all at once. And that's honestly what overall helped me. Your time, like I said, doesn't have to be the gym. It could be some sort of other exercise, basketball, soccer, whatever it is. Maybe you like painting, I don't know. I'm just explaining how fitness helped me, because I like to keep this channel very fitness oriented. That is gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, be sure to give it a like. If any of you guys are new here, do not forget to press that subscribe button, because you guys know I will be back. And as always, the sky's the limit.